Hey, Al. I hope you had a healthy week. I wanted to come on here so I can do my review basically of the show Love is Blind on Netflix. With this virus stuff going on, it's been overwhelming and scary, so I wanted to take my mind off of it by doing this review. And also because there's a few things here that I definitely felt like I need to cover. Okay, so on Netflix, there's a show. It's called Love is Blind. It's a reality show. It's a reality love experiment, okay? And I'm basically going to give you a layout of the show, how it works, what the participants went through, and then we're going to speak, I guess, about the couples individually. Okay, so this show, it was 15 men and 15 women in the beginning, and they would go into rooms and there'd be a wall in between them, and they would talk to each other through this wall. They would have a series of dates with different, trying on each one to see basically what fit, and they would talk to each other. Okay, going into this, the idea was to get married. Okay, that's the goal in all of this. So you're dating around, but you're asking the most serious of questions, things that are serious to you as a person, but also sharing personality, personal preferences, picking up on this from a person you're potentially interested in ultimately marrying. So this is how it worked. They went into rooms. They couldn't see each other. And that's the thing here. They talk through this wall, and they're in a room on a couch. There's wine, vodka. Some people drank, some people didn't. And they got to know each other personality wise, little quirks about each other. And it was really interesting to watch this. It definitely gauges you in and has you wondering, would I do something like this? So you see the different personalities here, and you see who's sort of meshing with each other, possibly becoming different couples. And the thing is here, you talk to people, and I don't know, I want to say they did this for like a week or so behind the wall. And then basically you have to choose somebody, and in order to see them, because you never lay eyes on them, you have to get engaged through this wall without ever laying your eyes on this person. That's the goal of the show, basically. Okay, so this is where we're at. So we have these couples who are going through the process, and there's one that's the breakout couple of all these couples here. And ultimately, there's only four. There's only four. There's spoilers all over this. I'm gonna put it, in the notes on this, whatever, so you're aware. You need to have seen the show, otherwise I'm gonna ruin it for you. Okay, so four couples basically. The breakout couple of this show were Lauren. Was that right? Lauren and Cameron. I'm sorry, Lauren and Cameron. And this is a swirl couple. Um, Lauren is a black woman. Cameron is a white man, and you could see how quickly their chemistry picked up with one another. Okay, so we have these couples who became engaged to one another before seeing each other, and then when they finally did see each other, I don't really think anyone was too disappointed here. However, that's with the exception of Jessica. Okay, so let me go back here. When they were in the rooms talking through the wall, there's one guy, Burnett, that both Amber and Jessica are interested in. And he seems to be interested in both of them during this time. And then at the end, he ends up choosing Amber, and Jessica is like butthurt about this, okay? And Jessica is the oldest of all the people in this little experiment thing here. Jessica's 34 years old, and because she didn't get Burnett, she sort of takes her second choice here, a guy who is 24 years old, 10 years younger than her. Um, oh, what is his name? Mark. Mark. That's who she's talking to. Okay, so I'm going to start with them, Jessica and Mark. Now, like I said, the reason she's with him is because she couldn't have the Burnett that she wanted. Okay, so with Mark, what you find out after all these couples become engaged, and man, how do I say this? Okay, so they all become engaged, and then They've met each other. Oh, and then they keep them in. They're like at a resort basically, and they're kept there. All the couples are kept there together, different rooms. And at first, they don't know that they're all in the same location until one night they go to dinner, and they're like, "Oh my gosh!" Because all the women were on one side and all the men were on the other during this little experiment where they were talking to each other through the wall. And so the women would talk to each other, and Jessica and Lauren knew about one another and how they were both sort of going after Burnett. Okay, so all the guys know each other, hang out with each other. Same thing with the girls. And then after they've coupled off, engaged, they come together one night for dinner, unknowingly, that each couple would be there. Okay, so what you see with Jessica, man, yeah, I can't stand Jessica. I gotta say this. 34 years old, highly successful white woman, very entitled. She knows herself, um, but man, I don't even know how to say this. I don't understand why she chose to get engaged to a 24-year-old guy. She had a little chemistry there between herself and Mark, but I guess the majority of her chemistry was with this Burnett guy. And when he turned her down, she took what was available. So Mark, after they've coupled off and they even start living together, I see Jessica speak down to Mark. Even that first night after all the couples came together, and they had their little dinner, and she realized that Burnett was with Amber. They were back in their room. She talked to Mark like he was 24 years old. Okay. Mark is years behind her as far as his career. Example, she owns the place that she lives. She's a very successful, some type of businesswoman, and he has a roommate. It's actually his friend and his girlfriend. They're his roommates, and he's kind of a mama's boy. I'm like, he's 24 years old, and you see tons of problems there. But ultimately, with her, I see that she couldn't help but be disrespectful in a sense that she did not give that man the respect that she would have if she considered him her equal. And she did not. There was no question about that to me. Then further, later on, because like I said, now they're all staying at the same place. After they get engaged, they stay at this resort for I don't even know how long. And mind you, this show was filmed over a year and a half ago. Okay. So that's crazy to me. They were so genius in how they did this. And it was the luck of the draw, basically, that the show blew up the way it did because everyone's talking about it and everybody's watching it. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so they're all staying at the same place. So from time to time, they all do dinner together. They get to talk to each other. And during this process, you see Jessica, when she's alone with Burnett, she's still pursuing this man. Okay, she's all the way engaged to Mark, but she is still pursuing Burnett. Okay, and his now fiance, Lauren, doesn't know this is going on. Ultimately, she doesn't end up finding out about this until this played on Netflix. She was just, oh gosh, she was so, gosh, self righteous and just rude. She was highly disrespectful. She's just a piss poor person. And along with that, she always, I literally felt like she was dangling a carrot in front of Mark's face at all times. She didn't sleep with him. I don't think they ever slept together. But he was so eager, like, to please, and it's almost like she got off on challenging him, and I don't even know what to say, y'all. I can't stand Jessica. I don't like her, and I was okay. Let me go on from there. Okay, so then we have Lauren and Cameron. Lauren and Cameron. Okay, so like I said, that's the swirly couple that everyone loved. Okay, then we had Giannia and Damon, and this was a young Latina girl, and Damien. I don't really have a lot to say with them. I guess they were interesting, but she acted very young to me, and she would. I don't know. It's like she had spasm freakouts from time to time that I do not understand because I've never been a woman like that. I don't get it, girl. I don't know. It's almost like her crazy matched her beauty. Yes. Okay. That's what it was with her. Her crazy matched her beauty. Okay. Then what was I gonna say? On camera. Oh, Amber and Burnett. So Burnett is the guy who what tripped me out about him, he's a decent looking guy, tall, successful white guy. He's what like most women want out here, okay? But I loved how the sisters sniffed him out real quick. They were not with his bullshit. They just no, Um, this Amber chick that he got with, the thing that stuck out to me the most about them, first off, those two had crazy sexual energy. They lusted each other when they met each other. And I'm gonna say also, I'm gonna pause here for a second. I'm gonna say when they were talking to each other through the walls, it reminded me of when I was younger, because y'all know I'm 44. Those phone calls that you had with somebody that you really liked, where you guys were sort of able to go so deep in the conversation, you were sort of dissecting each other and you're finding all the things that you had in common. You were getting the butterflies in your stomach with the excitement of the prospect of this person being someone that you know, that's going to be my boy, that's going to be my man, whatever. That's the feels that you got during this. Like these people, they really had feelings for each other, just leaving, coming out from behind the wall, meeting each other. There was some love there for real. But for some, there was a whole lot of lust. And I'm gonna say that Amber and Burnett were a lust couple. She's a pretty girl. Well, she's basic to me. I'm like all these girls. She's basic. He's the one that I guess everybody or a few females wanted in this scenario. And after they do the whole at the resort thing together, they all go to each other's homes, you know, to see where they live, to decide where they're going to live together, basically, once they do, in fact, say I do. Decide whose house they're going to live in. And the crazy thing about Amber, she has no job. She's no longer employed. And I looked this up online because I was freaked out. I've heard other YouTubers call her a hobosexual. I didn't know that was a thing, y'all. A hobosexual is somebody who is 100% interested or they want to be with you so that you can take care of them. She literally said, I want to be a stay at home mom. She doesn't want to work. She has huge student debt that she hasn't even begun to pay back. The little bit of money that she does have, this girl is going out and spending. She's buying expensive ass makeup that her ass can't afford. And she was staying with friends. She said couch diving from friends to friends' house. This is her life. And she's like 26, 27 years old. Hobosexual. That's what she was. That girl knew that she could rely on her looks, basic as they were, to get a man and have someone take care of her. Worked out, right? Okay, then we had Kelly and Kenny. This is a couple I really don't care about. Okay, I'm not even going to talk about them. All right, then okay, so after they're living together, each couple are living together for a while. Then they do bachelorette party. So all the women who are going to get married, and I believe there's four total. No, there's five women, five men. Start out with 15. Now we're down with five of each. Okay. So that's how they do the bachelor and bachelorette parties. It's just those people, you know, who are part of the show. Then we see they actually have wedding ceremonies, and I mean the whole thing, beautiful wedding gowns. They go and meet the families, I'm sorry, before they even decide to do the wedding ceremony, which I believe is only 30 days after they get engaged. Okay, everyone's met each other's parents. And the crazy thing about Lauren and Cameron, Lauren's dad, okay, both her parents are important to her, I'm going to say that, but her father, it's like she looks up to him and his approval is very important to her. And Lauren, the black woman who got with the white guy Cameron, she's very concerned because her he's extremely pro-black. He's not anti anything else. And I shouldn't even have to say that. He's just a pro-black man, okay? And he is all about black family. That's what he wanted for his daughter. So it was a heightened and anticipated moment when Cameron finally met her dad. And ultimately, I'm going to say her dad feels the same way I do. I'm pro black. I do want my kids to marry black. I definitely want that. I've told them that. But they know I would accept anything that they brought home. I would, anybody. I just hope that they got it through their heads that it's a black person or somebody who's on our side of this little fight going on in this country. Anyway, that meeting was very interesting, and her father was he's a strong presence. Just him walking into the room, you could see him. Cameron seemed anxious but not nervous, you know what I mean? he wasn't coming from a bad place. So all he was trying to do was let it be known that he really does love Lauren. He totally intends to marry her, and he has every intention also of taking care of her. He's in this for life. So there's the wedding ceremonies that take place here. The only people that actually ended up getting married during this was Lauren and Cameron, our swirl couple and the breakout stars of the show, and Amber and Burnett. They got married, and I don't know. Oh, another thing I have to say about Jessica, the girl I cannot stand, the 34-year-old who was constantly throwing her coochie at Burnett. There was a part in there where she's sitting on the couch in her house and she has this big wine glass with a huge opening and she's drinking and she's talking to Mark. He's on the couch and her dog is there. She's a big dog person. And she puts her glass of wine down for her dog to, the dog is licking out of her glass. I, I had to rewind that to make sure I wasn't seeing things. That is so disgusting to me. So disgusting. She let her dog lick out of her cup and continue drinking on it like it was nothing. And Mark didn't stop and freak out. Like, I'm done, y'all. I can't. Anyway, not to mention, I don't think it's very healthy to give your dog any wine. I don't think that's. I don't look that up. I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea. Okay, so the last couple that took place in this that I have to talk about, it's a couple: Diamond, black girl, Carlton Morton, black man. The thing is with this couple, they went through the process. They got engaged through the wall. They actually met each other. And the first night, was it the first night that they stayed at that hotel after they got engaged? They're sitting there. Carlton then, and only then, they're already engaged, y'all. He decides to let Diamond know that he's a bisexual man. And he caught her totally off guard with this. Like she was caught off guard, as she should be. Okay, we've had all this time in these pods. That's what they all call it, is pods, where they're talking to each other through the wall. You had all the time in the world with all the multiple dates they had, the hours long conversations that they've had with one another to share everything, important stuff, like I like guys and I like girls, or I have kids, or I've been married before. These are the type of, I don't know. I would think you'd share this. Anyway, she's kind of taken off guard with this, and she's like in shock, and she's like, I just need a minute. So as he told her this, and she was like, I just need a minute. So she leaves, and he's like, go, go. His attitude, almost off jump, is piss poor. And let me say this, during this whole process, when they were in the pods, um, when all the men are on one side and all the women are over here, just like I said, the women were talking to each other, the men were talking to each other too. And Cameron was real quick to tell all these men that he was bisexual, but he never told the woman he was supposed getting engaged to. Okay. So then when they meet the next day, because she ended up going, off, I guess, to her own hotel room for that night, they meet the next day and she's coming back and she's calm and she's talking to him and she's like, I don't know. You really caught me off guard with that. And from there, she proceeds to say, no, he's like, I just wanted to live in my truth and da 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 da. And she's like, yeah, but you kind of play the game. And he's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, why didn't you tell me this before you proposed to me? And he's like, it was such a defensive attitude that he had. And it's because he had said before, he's had rejection from people because of who's in the past he has dated. And he said it like this: I was in the past, I've dated men and women. But see, part of his testimonial that he had when he was, still in the pods, but he would talk to the camera one on one, he said that basically he was sexually fluid. Do you know what that means? That means it changes. That there's no specific boundaries on that. That's number one. He himself said fluid, okay? Number two, when they asked him, well, why do you think you're ready to settle down with a woman now? And he said, women are more nurturing and they love in a different kind of way, basically, than men do. That's true. That is absolutely true. But that just tells me that you choose this woman right now for one thing, basically, along with your fluidity, which says to me, and hey, to each their own. My thing is, that's no place I want to be when it comes to my heterosexual I want to be married for the rest of my life. That I think in dating, we all screw up so much in dating. We get it wrong time after time. We get cheated on. Maybe we cheated. We screw up. We choose the wrong person. We do dumb stuff. We get it wrong, okay? But I also feel like for a lot of us, marriage, that's kind of the thing we want to get right. It is. If it ever happens for me, never happened this far, who knows? But I really feel like if I'm going there, I'm going with my eyes all the way open. I'm going to date someone long enough to know everything about them. And it is my right as a heterosexual woman, not to want to be with a bisexual man. I've been online so much this last week and I've heard other black women say that black women have a lot of nerve with not wanting to be with a bisexual man. No, I have a right. Just like they have a right to sleep with men and women, and gay people have a right to sleep with same sex, I have a right to only choose to want to be with a man who only wants to be with a woman and who has only wanted to be any way I want to. I don't have to explain it. Just like people of other sexual preferences don't have to explain it. This has been on my nerves so bad. This because Diamond and Carlton got huge backlash because this conversation that they had at the pool when she called him on his bullshit. And that's what she did. She called him. He screwed up the whole process because he held out information on her. He held out information on her and she agreed to marry him. And just her saying that alone, his defensive actions were so ugly. He told her, that's why I don't deal with bitches like you and da da da. Just immediate disrespect, misogyny. He's just all the way left wrong. Okay. The way that he spoke to her, it said a lot about him. Thank you for showing me your true color so quickly into this. Thank you, Carlton. So she's walking away and he's telling her, oh, your wig's been crooked all this time and da da da. And she said something to him. I don't even remember her exact words. What she said was kind of off too. It definitely was. But that man attacked her verbally. He really did. And what do you expect? I don't know. Another thing, I was online today and I watched on the Grace Report, another YouTuber. She did a whole video on Carlton. He had a meltdown at a radio station. Now, mind you, recently they've all been making their rounds to radio stations and E! News and Ellen DeGeneres show, being interviewed, doing interviews, because to this day, Lauren and Cameron and Amber and Burnett are the only ones that are still married. And it's crazy because you saw the whole ceremony, wedding ceremonies take place. And everyone had to go down the aisle. They had to. And some people got their hearts broken right there on TV live. And some people actually, decided to go ahead and get hitched. It was such damn, that was a good show. And the reunion, the hosts of this were like Nick Lachey and his wife. And I don't know, to me that couple's too vanilla. They're too vanilla because I feel like at the reunion, I want people pushed and pressed to get answers to questions. I'm not saying it needs to be a Love and Hip Hop reunion because we all know that's way too far. But a little more wouldn't hurt. Okay, I don't think that particular couple is the right couple for this show. What else did I want to say? I loved during the reunion, Amber tore into Jessica's ass for pursuing her at that time fiance, basically. And Jessica herself made an ass out of herself a few times, getting too drunk on this show. Too drunk. I don't know. Anyway, this show is, I think it's for everybody. I think it's interesting, but I also think you can learn from these couples, from the things that they go through, from actually having to talk out different issues with somebody that you genuinely care about. Not all of us know how to do that the correct way, and you could definitely learn from this. And they better have a season 2 because this is a jackpot right here. Netflix got it better than anyone. I've watched Love at First Sight. The couples that meet literally as they show up at the aisle and they learn each other's names right before they say I do. I've watched that show and it was interesting at first, but I don't know. I guess it just drug on too long, and that's like far too fetched. I don't know. At least I need more than that before I say I do. Anyway, I highly recommend the show to y'all, and I want some feedback. Let me know if you think what I think about, I don't know, because, like I was saying, Diamond, she got so much backlash with bisexual people telling her that she's biphobic because she doesn't want to be with a bisexual person. That's literally what they're called. if you don't get the hell out of here. I'm like, that is so crazy to me. A biphobic person, I had to look this up in the dictionary. That's somebody who has a fear. They're afraid of, and they have a disdain, a disgust for somebody who's bisexual. She didn't have that. She was accepting of him. She was. He pushed her. It literally felt like he didn't talk to girls. He doesn't like girls. Between his hate for the way he treated her and during that interview that was on the radio station Magic 107.5, I don't know, he look up Carlton Morton, because he did, oh, that was a cringe worthy interview. He was trying to control the narrative of everybody around him, and he dogged the hell black media did this to me, and the Black Lives Matters, until it's a bisexual man. And the anyway, I don't want anyone going hard on him in comments or nothing, because the last I heard, he had taken himself off social media because he was talking like he was so depressed he may want to kill himself. So please do not trash that man in my comments. I just disagree with about everything he was spilling. Okay. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you like my video, hit the like button, become a subscriber, and I'll see you next time. Bye.